Fiserv Forum. It's a gold out tonight as the Marquette Golden Eagles look for a share of the Big East regular season title for the first time in a decade, taking on the DePaul Blue Demons. Standing room only in Milwaukee tonight. Matt Schumacher, Stephen Bardo with you. Marquette has won 8 out of their last 9. Stephen, what impresses you most about this Marquette Golden Eagles team right now?
The cohesiveness of the unit. You know, it's we instead of I. These guys are so unselfish. That's what makes them one of the most offensively efficient teams in all of college basketball. And they have fun playing, and you'll see it here this evening.
No doubt about that. Top 5 in the country, according to KenPom. You talked about cohesiveness and continuity. That's something that DePaul has struggled with this year. They've only had all 14 players available for just one game this season. Meanwhile, Marquette, this has been their starting 5 for every single game this year. And Cam Jones has at times been the straw to stir the drink.
I tell you what, he leads the second in three-point attempts in the Big East. You talk about a guy that's doubled his offensive production from last season to this season.
And meanwhile, on the other side, Nick Ongenda, good news for DePaul. He's getting back into a rhythm in his 4th game back after missing 25 with an injury.
Yeah, and this is a young man who is an elite rim protector, can rim run, and gives DePaul yet another option on the offensive end.
Cam Jones coming off 19 points after a stretch of single digits in 3 of the previous 4. And he's a guy that will be an X factor down the stretch, having a career year, somebody that can propel this team to a deep run in March. Sell out at Fiserv Forum. Our officials, Brian O'Connell, Matt Potter, Greg Evans. Marquette wins the tip.
Also, Iguodala, one of the more unique 5s in all of college basketball.
Wearing number 13 in gold. Here is Jones on his 21st birthday. Standing room only crowd will stand until Marquette makes its first bucket. Stevie Mitchell rejected, and it was on Genda. What a presence he has been since returning defensively.
He gives him a different dimension where you saw Marquette take advantage when Ryan Kalkbrenner at Creighton went to the bench. Marquette lived at the rim. It's going to be a little bit more difficult when Ongenda's in the game.
And a turnover gives it back to the Golden Eagles. Shaka Smart's team has won 8 of its last 9, back-to-back against top 25 teams in Creighton and Xavier, playing like a team that could win the Big East tournament title in March.
And they're also playing like a team that could be a second weekend team in the NCAA tournament.
A place they haven't been in a decade.
The Bulls had some pretty good defensive sequences here.
Jones from downtown.
Cam Jones, I mean, when you got a guy that can bring you home, it might be a disjointed possession, it doesn't matter. Cam Jones can bail you out.
He's got 30 friends and family in attendance tonight for his 21st birthday. Gibson, up and under, left it short. And here comes Tyler Kolek. Jones, back-to-back threes.
But when that tongue comes out like that, you know it could be a big day for Cam Jones. Been a wild day in college basketball. It looks like Marquette has seen some of the results, and they've come out locked in and ready to play.
Double team comes. Gibson the pull-up. Could not corral the rebound.
Terry's got to give that ball up to Gibson quicker than he did that time. If he did, Gibson would have had a wide open look.
Home run pass to Penn, and a little too much air underneath it. And the Oregon transfer, Jalen Terry. That is where Tony Stubblefield came from, an 11-year assistant coach at Oregon in his second stint at DePaul. And they had higher expectations this year, Stephen, than where they sit in league play. They felt like had they stayed healthy, they could be a top half team in this league.
And I think they could have. I mean, they've got the talent. And I tell you what, Tony Stubblefield is doing a heck of a job recruiting in the Chicagoland area.
Meanwhile, Oso Ighodaro on the board at 18 in the win against Creighton. And was terrific, as you mentioned earlier, defending Ryan Kalkbrenner. Finally, the 8-0 Marquette run stunted by Nick Ongenda.
Ongenda looked like he shot a knuckleball up there, got a favorable bounce. But boy, nothing's come easy to start this game for the Blue Demons. Watch Gibson in this situation.
Johnson. And a foul on the floor. It'll go against Marquette, and it stays here.
Like they got it. Ighodaro on the hold there.
Indeed. Ighodaro's first. DePaul's lost 9 in a row, and that's coming off a top 10 win against Xavier. And in a number of those losses, Stephen, you and I were looking at them earlier before this game. You could point to maybe 4 or 5 over this stretch. DePaul should have won one of 4 or 5 of those games.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And that just speaks to the close nature of games in this conference. I mean, from top to bottom, there is a slim margin of error in terms of having success.
Here is Herod Penn. Gambro with the extra pass. And Ongenda beats the shot clock with the finger roll.
Now, see, that was beautiful ball moving by DePaul that time. They're going to get double teamed in the post. If they can get it out quickly and around the horn, they'll get quality looks.
These two teams have met once before this season. It was a 1-point game at the half, Marquette leading. And then the Golden Eagles just ran away with it in the second frame as Terry gets the teardrop to fall.
Ooh, Jalen Terry leaving some lingerie on the deck. I'll tell you, the hezzy, the stop-start, the floater at the rim. Impressive.
Prosper. Good offensive rebound by Chaplin. Third triple for Jones.
Wow. Marquette trying to put the knockout punch early onto a team that, as you talked about in DePaul, has struggled, loses their last 9.
Jones has 9 of Marquette's 11 points.
He's looking for more.
And Prosper draws a foul on Ongenda. Pretty good way to start your 21st birthday. How about 3 threes in the opening 5 minutes?
And I'll tell you what, there's not any clouds inside of Fiserv Forum, but Cam Jones making it rain from long range. Nick Ongenda trying to keep the ball close.
Inside a sold-out Fiserv Forum, gold out for the Marquette Golden Eagles. And Cam Jones, a golden boy on his birthday to start 3 threes in the opening 5 minutes.
Well, I think Marquette has come out the way they wanted to start. Aggressive. And Cam Jones, you see Colett recognizing that he starts hot. He wants to continue to get him the ball because he's a hot hand. And hey, why not? Tee it up, let it fly.
One of the things that Tony Stubblefield said would be a key in this game is mixing things up defensively, throwing in some zone, some press, things they didn't do enough of in the first meeting. What do you want to see defensively to disrupt maybe Cam Jones and others on the perimeter for Marquette?
Well, see, if DePaul is going to get into their changing defenses, they've got to make some shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then they can get back and get set up defensively. If they're not having good flow offensively, it's tough to do those changing defenses.
It is Marquette basketball underneath. Kolek, the inbounder. Cam Jones with 9 of Marquette's 11 points. All of them from beyond the arc. How about a fourth?
Philmon Gebreweth, he had an indecision for a split second, and it cost him a three-point shot. Just what we talked about earlier. You've got to be sharp and locked in this conference. If you're not, you will get exposed.
Gibson rattles it in from downtown to at least momentarily quiet this crowd.
Gibson's got one of those old school parts in the middle of his head, almost like ragtime, old school ragtime.
That time, Joplin. It's a three.
That's why it's so difficult to defend this Marquette team, especially when Joplin comes in the game. You got Jones on one side and Joplin on the other. You got to pick your poison.
And with Kolek orchestrating the offense.
That's right.
4 assists. That moves into 4th all-time in the single season numbers.
Well, look at this defensive pressure by Marquette.
And it leads to a turnover.
And Nick talking to Matt Potter like, man, can I get a break?
And there were 3 gold jerseys around him at the end of it.
Yeah, you know what? He just lost his footing, so it's a good no call.
Joplin on the drive. Here is Ben Gold, the freshman, into the ball game for the first time tonight, as is Sean Jones with the basketball.
Cam Jones recognized the mismatch.
How about that dump off to Iguodaro?
Yeah, Jones is fast and known for his defensive prowess, but he got downhill and created that play.
An 11-3 Marquette run. They've assisted on 6 of 7 made field goals. And a foul. Deshaun Nelson a little bit gimpy. He came into this game after spraining his ankle against Butler a couple of nights ago. And he's in a crouch position after that foul.
Look how fast Jones gets downhill. Sweet pocket pass around Gibson. That might be Iguodaro's easiest 2 on the evening.
And now Iguodaro with 2 fouls. Nelson was a game-time decision. Their big man in the middle, who's missed the last 2 games, also a game-time decision. He had a hamstring strain against St. John's, which was the only game that DePaul had all 14 players available, and that ended after about 8 minutes.
Yeah, they've been definitely hit with the injury bug all season long. But you can't knock them for their competitive nature because they come out and play each and every night.
They have been in a lot of games in league play, including the first meeting with Marquette.
Yep. Until that second half 3-point barrage by the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, Marquette made 11 of 23 in the second half in their first meeting. Gabriel knocks it in from straight away.
And Philmon likes that walk-in 3. Catch and shoots where he's most effective. Watch Jones in this situation.
Gold, no. Joplin, the offensive rebound tag with a foul. And Shaka Smart didn't like the call.
Like they got Joplin. Shaka Smart wanted an explanation, but none forthcoming.
Cam Jones will head to the bench with 9 points, make it 12 on 4 made threes. Caleb Murphy now into the ball game for DePaul, wearing 23.
Oh, that dribble got a little bit high there.
Gibson to Penn. Tap back, no. And last touch by Penn, it'll be Marquette basketball.
Well, DePaul trying to keep it close. Philmon coming in on the drag 3. Marquette up 5.
tough. A made three from Philmont Gabriel down 5. Let's go inside the huddle with Tony Stubblefield.
We're fine. Now, guys, you got to remember, on the switching, come together, and we got to talk loud and early. They're getting us with our momentum going one way, loud and early.
So you're seeing Coach Stubblefield just remind his players of some of the smaller things that you need to pay attention to in terms of talking louder, communication in this loud building, and reassuring his team that they're in really good position, even though Marquette got out to a quick start.
5 of 9 from downtown. 4 of those made threes. Cam Jones, who remains on the bench out of the timeout.
And it just flashed up Jay Crowder, former Marquette great, now with the Milwaukee Bucks, sitting along the baseline on the DePaul side. So glad to see some Milwaukee Bucks in the house supporting the Marquette Golden Eagles.
There he is, Jay Crowder, made his Milwaukee Bucks debut last night in this building.
That's right. And Pat Connaughton, we saw him earlier today wearing a Tyler Kolek jersey. How cool was that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Played for the same AAU organization, the Middlesex Magic, out on the East Coast. Trying to shoot for goal. Nice turnaround by the freshman.
I'll tell you what, Big Gold showed impressive footwork that time. I didn't know whether he was going to get in trouble, but reverse pivot got back to his strong hand.
Murphy lost it on the drive. Kolek. Prosper.
Boy, in spite of the miss, Marquette is a thing of beauty to watch on the offensive end. Wherever Kolek goes, the opposite big rotates perfectly.
David Johnson did everything in his power to keep that play alive, but instead whistled for a travel. It's the 4th turnover on DePaul.
The last couple of possessions, DePaul is trying to, in my opinion, go too quickly on the offensive end. There's 1 or 2 passes, and they're trying to get all the way to the bucket. That's really tough to do against an elite defense like Marquette.
Make that 5 turnovers now on the Blue Demons.
Oh, Steve Mitchell might have had a good look had he caught that cleanly.
Ben Gold. Sean Jones. Tagged by Gabriel. And a foul against DePaul.
Gabriel got caught with his hand in the cookie jar that time.
You were a really good defensive player in your day.
Yep.
Actually, you were the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. When a team like Marquette moves the ball so well and they have so many weapons, how do you defend that?
You hope they have an off night, and you hope that your teammates are locked in defensively, because if you're not, we've already seen Cam Jones get a corner 3 because of defensive miscommunication. So it's a tall task, and that's one of the reasons why they're tops in the Big East right now.
When an opponent was getting hot and you're on the other side defensively, is there anything you tried to do to disrupt?
Yeah, you talk about the mother, you step on their feet, you talk about what they're wearing, anything to get into their head. You gotta break a guy's rhythm when they're hot like that.
I was hoping you were going to go there, and I'm glad you did.
You know, we keep it real, man. You know that.
Under 10 to shoot. Great deflection by Kolek. They track those at Marquette. They write them on a whiteboard, and every time out when the players come over, they know how many deflections the team has so far. And now 5 to shoot for DePaul. Skip pass picked off by Jones.
Poor decision right there.
Couldn't get it to drop. Rebound Gold.
Ooh, tough catch, but Mitchell
Travel.
got happy feet there. Rare time that he had a size advantage in the paint. I think he got a little too excited there.
Now KT Ramey will come on. He's been getting more minutes as of late. One of a couple of JUCO transfers in their first year for Tony Stubblefield. Picked off again by Cam Jones. That's back-to-back steals for the sophomore.
Johnson just too lax with the basketball.
Mitchell. Turnaround, no. Tapped out by Ongenda. And how many times have we seen over the last couple of minutes Ben Gold keep a play alive on a missed shot?
He's done an excellent job, and he's been playing very well opposite of the basketball. And so whenever there's a dribble penetration, he puts himself in position to get a beautiful feed.
Jones. 4 of 6 from downtown. Terry with the blow by.
I mean, Terry was the last player up the floor and got to the rim before anyone else could respond. That's elite speed right there.
Kolek on the board. His first 3.
It looked like Ramey got caught up in the bodies in the paint, was slow to respond. And Kolek continuing that offensive outburst the last 10 games. 17 points per game.
Has become this team's leading scorer in Big East play. Five to shoot. Ongenda through all kinds of contact and draws a shooting foul. He will be at the line when we return.
You talk about fast. Jalen Terry beating everyone down the floor. Nice left-hand layup. Tyler Kolek. Defense gets caught up in the traffic. Kolek's like, I'll take these 3.
Marquette on top by 8. Under 8 to play in the first half. As we go inside the huddle with Shaka Smart.
Transition, we got to stop the ball. We got to stop Terry. All right, we're backing up, engage the ball. Okay, if we put 2 guys on the ball, we need an interceptor over there. All right, extremely active hands, take away the space. Down there, relax. Catch the ball, we're all jittery. Relax, there's actions available.
But when you're talking, sometimes in a huddle, you got to get after your team, and then sometimes in a huddle, you just got to point certain things out. That was the latter because there's a couple things he didn't like the fact that Terry got coast to coast, so you got to clean that up. And he talked about they're a little jittery, our Marquette here in the last few possessions. Relax on the offensive end.
Even still, they forced 7 DePaul turnovers and have almost doubled up DePaul in field goal attempts in the first half.
And so it's interesting. This Marquette team is not a good rebounding team, but they make up for it in deflections, force turnovers, getting the ball up the floor.
And that is what Shaka said opening that huddle comment. Active hands, deflections. They lead the Big East in steals per game, and they're top 10 in the country in that category as well.
And so it's rare when you'll hear an announcer say that watch a team defensively because they're so much fun to watch. Marquette off ball does a great job of tracking the basketball and getting deflections.
Kolek, spin cycle, and deflected away. Here comes Javen Johnson.
Ongenda did a good job of reading, learning the scouting report, knowing that Kolek wants to dish in that scenario.
Extra pass.
It's a good look. Good ball movement by DePaul. Ramey just couldn't get it to drop. Oh, what a pass.
What a pass. On the pick and roll. I don't know if there's a better combo in that department in the country. Iguodaro and Kolek.
I'm telling you, there was a slither of light, and Kolek found it. And that's on the move, ladies and gentlemen. That's a difficult pass.
And that is 6 assists for Colin.
Changing defenses here by Marquette. First time we've seen a 3-2 zone.
Terry followed his miss. And a second opportunity for DePaul.
Oh, when Terry is healthy, he can get downhill with the best of them.
And Nelson hobbling after that last shot. Remember, he twisted his ankle against Butler, and another pick and roll. Iguodaro slipping to the rim.
And here's one of the many things that I like about this Marquette offense. If they find something that's working, they'll continue to go to it. That's the second time in that two-man action. That time it was on the right wing instead of the center of the floor.
Deflection, Stevie Mitchell. 3-on-2 for Marquette. Mitchell a 3. And the putback for Iguodaro. Perfect from the floor. And a timeout taken by Tony Stubblefield.
Well, Marquette taking advantage of Nelson's injury. And also Iguodaro, really the beneficiary. Watch this pass. I mean, Terry is right there. That bounce pass gets just past Jalen Terry into the hands of Iguodaro where he could do something with it.
Double figures for Iguodaro and the 9-1 Marquette run. We talked about it off air after that under 8 timeout. This is a critical stretch of the game for DePaul to stay within striking distance, down 13. Under 6 minutes to play.
The Big East tournament.
Bingo! Big time onions. Oh, how about that?
Well, it's almost here, folks. The Big East tournament from the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. It returns March 8th on FS1, streaming live on the Fox Sports app as well. This is a team that if the season ended today, Marquette would be the #1 seed in the Big East tournament. And Ray, I remind you, they were picked 9th in the preseason poll.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a team that played with a chip on their shoulder the whole season. And this is a connected bunch. Doc Rivers, the head coach of Philadelphia Sixers, says the most successful teams touch each other the most. And you see Marquette dapping each other up all of the time. It's an indication of how good the squad is.
Ironically, daps are one of those energy-generating behaviors that Shaka Smart has brought with him from Texas and VCU, now at Marquette.
Yeah, it makes a difference. Those smaller things in a team scenario, I mean, you got to have togetherness because you're around your team more than anybody else during the season. And if you don't like each other, it's going to be a problem.
Turnover. Pressure defense from Marquette. They have turned up the heat. And that is the 9th cough up by DePaul in the first half.
Well, and Errol Penn taking the ball out where he tried to get the ball to Johnson. That was a bad scenario to begin with.
Jones was fouled by Gaberwitt, and that is his second.
You see Tony Stubblefield trying to go with any combination, try to find some defensive stops.
Freshman Zion Cruz into the ball game for the first time, wearing number 0 in blue. Time to shoot for Marquette. Kolek a 3. And the rebound to Cruz.
Let's see if Gibson can get something going here for DePaul. He's really had limited opportunities in the first half.
Picked off. Mitchell finishes.
Wow, Stevie Mitchell. I mean, that was a savvy play. The steal was impressive to begin with, but the slowdown on the layup to avoid the defensive pressure, that was nice. Wow, DePaul can't even initiate their offense. and it's already under 15 seconds on the shot clock.
Gabriel jarred loose again by Mitchell. Prosper somehow slipped it down.
You think Marquette didn't see some of the scores from earlier today around college basketball? Florida State comes from 25 down to win at Miami. We saw Michigan State and Iowa, maybe the wildest game in that conference this season. Marquette has been ready to play.
And a block at the rim. Angenda was fouled by Kolek.
Boy, the active hands have really paid off for Marquette here. Stevie Mitchell stops in midair for the bucket. And then watch Mitchell come from behind to stop a dunk.
Has doubled up DePaul in front of a sellout crowd. You see it on the whiteboard. 21 deflections. Steven, you mentioned it. They are flying around tonight at Fiserv Forum.
Yeah, they're playing with a tremendous amount of intensity on the defensive end, and it's really generated quite a bit of offense for them as a result. The deflection there by Kolek, and Shaka Smart loved that. Saw the pickpocket there by Cam Jones. And Stevie Mitchell has been really impressive on both ends of the floor here to start this game.
In the last 4 or 5 possessions defensively, Mitchell has had 2 steals and a block. And to your point, 13 points off 11 DePaul turnovers for the Golden Eagles.
See, a lot of times when you can get turnovers, live ball turnovers like that, it will lead to runouts, to open layups, to disadvantages against the other team. So the active hands have been on display here.
DePaul scoreless in nearly the last 4 minutes.
Ooh, Cruz wanted to go one-on-one. He lost the handle there.
Kolek stripped. The much bigger Angenda. Joplin straight away. Dials it up from downtown.
Marquette going small ball, 13-0 run by the Golden Eagles, but they're going small ball right now with Joplin playing the 5. So can Nick Angenda take advantage of that?
Instead it was Penn, and he comes up a little bit lame. Fouled on the drive.
He's been moving that wrist-hand situation all over the first half. He got it banged earlier, and it's continued to give him some trouble. But that's a strong move to the hole, something that DePaul desperately needed.
6th team foul on Marquette. First points for DePaul in over 4.5 minutes. And we had a chance to go to Marquette shoot-around earlier today. Lively as usual, loose as usual, and at one point in the shoot-around, Shaka Smart sort of stopped it and said, be focused to dominate this game. Be serious about dominating this game. And man, Steven, they have taken that message to heart.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you have a conference title in your sights and you've been working for 4 or 5 months, this is the culmination of a ton of hard work. You want to see it through. You don't want to stub your toe or have a bad outing. And Shaka Smart and his staff, kudos to them for getting this team ready to play.
14 wins in the league. One more gives them 15, which would be their most ever in the Big East. And to your point, we give them at least a share of their first Big East regular season title in a decade.
I mean, in a conference like this, and you got a chance to win a regular season title, it is hard. I mean, I was on some great teams, and we never won our conference title. So, I mean, it's a badge of honor. I know we don't necessarily celebrate it as much as a conference tournament championship, but it still means a lot. Nice Great job by Cruz getting in the teeth of the zone defense for that open look.
Rejected on Genda. His second block. Terry the shuffle. Gibson a three in transition.
Boy, that was great connectivity by Cruz, Terry, and finally Gibson on the open look.
5-point swing. Last two possessions for DePaul. And Gold responds with a three.
Yeah, Nick Ongenda just playing drop coverage in that ball exchange defense. Gold can shoot that three.
8 of 18 are the Golden Eagles from distance. 44% from beyond the arc. Gibson draws a foul on Gold, and that is the 7th. DePaul shooting free throws over the next 97 seconds. The second on Gold.
I thought it was basketball. This might be volleyball. Look at that spike. Nick Ongenda, like, I know you didn't think that you were going to get to the bucket.
You know, he's a guy that we talked about it earlier, missed 25 games with a wrist injury. Last year, he and Yorane, who we have not seen tonight, game time decision dealing with a hamstring. First DePaul Blue Demons in program history to have 40 blocks apiece in the same season. And they were expecting those two to anchor the defense this year. Stephen, it just hasn't worked out due to the injuries.
No, it hasn't, and it's been unfortunate for them because I really like what Stubblefield's doing in terms of building this program. And you know, unfortunately, you don't see the progress with all the injuries.
Tap out, scooped by Terry. Cruz. Really nice finish off the window.
I'm telling you, Cruz has come in and provided a lot of intensity for DePaul.
Jones. Yes, off the dribble. Man, he's hot. 5 threes in the first half.
Cruz made a mistake there, though. When you see that sidestep from Jones, that doesn't mean he's passing. That means he's trying to create some space.
He's done a whole heck of a lot of that in the first half. Those 5 threes ties a career high. Gibson tripped by Iguodaro. And that's his third.
Wow, that's a bad break from Marquette there. I know Shaka Smart sometimes will roll the dice. There are certain coaches that if you get 2 fouls in the first half, that's it. You're sitting for the rest of the half. Shaka Smart does it a little bit differently. But now with Iguodaro with 3, see how he'll try to manage this the rest of the game.
And possibly an opportunity for DePaul to get some offense going through the post with Iguodaro on the bench.
You know what? Marquette went small ball. They had Joplin at the 5. Ongenda was still on the floor, and they did not get him the basketball. They didn't recognize that last time. Let's see if they can do something here in the last 46 seconds. 15-point
game. Marquette has been lights out offensively, 47% from downtown. And they've also forced double-digit DePaul turnovers. Prosper in the corner. That's a 3. Counted in the foul.
Wow.
50% from beyond the arc.
And the lightning speed at which Marquette advanced the basketball into an open 3. I mean, DePaul, you got to be better than that. I mean, and that they scored that in about 3 seconds. And they get an opportunity at the line. Just lightning fast offense by Marquette, and they were going 2 for 1.
They've had DePaul in a tizzy in these first 20 minutes.
Yep. It's just their activity level and their sense of havoc on the defensive end.
10-second differential between game and shot. Some pressure from Marquette.
One of the few teams you'll see after a missed free throw still be able to get into a pressure situation like that. And now they drop back in zone, kind of messing with the rhythm of the Blue Demons.
Gibson Way downtown, left it short. Followed his miss. Cruz left open. And then Penn tagged with the offensive foul, and frustration boiling over for Eral Penn. That is his second. And it leaves a lot of time for this Marquette team to find some offense here to close out the half.
Yeah, because they don't, as we saw last possession, they don't need much.
No.
Oh, they could have went to the monitor if they would have pointed that out. Well, Cam Jones got away with one.
Cam Jones, yes sir, from the logo, runs into the locker room, ending the half with 18 on his 21st birthday in front of a sold-out Fiserv Forum.
When you see a player hot like that, it is a thing of beauty. Golden Eagles, red hot from long range.
Jay Crowder in the house, Pat Connaughton in the house, half of Milwaukee in the house tonight, trying to will this Marquette team to its first Big East regular season title in 10 years. Sold out, standing room only. Marquette Golden Eagles, 49 points in the first half. That's the most in a first half in Big East play for a Marquette team that has looked elite in this game, led by Cam Jones. 18 in the first half.
Yeah, Cam Jones is ready to play this evening, and his teammates found him after that first one. Started dropping it off, and DePaul got to be there on the catch, and a lot of times they weren't, and they paid the price as a result.
Jones had a career-high 6 made threes in the first half. On the other side, DePaul had a few bright spots. Nick Ongenda, one of those.
Yeah, Ongenda with a nice block. Gibson coming off a curl cut into a three. I thought Cruz brought great energy off the bench for the Blue Demons.
So you're coming out of the halftime locker room, and your opponent is doing that offensively. What do you say to your team if you're Tony Stubblefield? How do you approach these next 20 minutes?
You just gotta look at 4-minute segments. Break the second half down into 4-minute segments. Try to win the first 4 minutes to start this half and chip away at this deficit.
It is DePaul basketball to start.
Wow, that's a quick look. Gibson, no hesitation whatsoever.
They need more of that from him. You mentioned it in the first half. Went too long of stretches without taking shots. Iguodaro spinning to the cup. Still perfect from the floor. 6 of 6 with 12 points.
Also, it's so hard to guard for opposing bigs because of his ability to handle the basketball and get into that spin move.
Ongenda, turnaround, no. Penn fighting for the rebound, and the putback is good.
Nice job by Penn. DePaul's showing some nice fight here to start the second half.
How can the Blue Demons string together some stops against a team that shot over 50% from the floor and from beyond the arc? Tough to stop that. Iguodaro to Mitchell.
Jalen Terry was in good position defensively, and he just relaxed at the wrong moment. Mitchell takes advantage.
Blue Demons trying to snap a 9-game skid. They have been so close to tasting victory multiple times. Foul goes against Prosper. Check that. He tapped it out of bounds, and it goes back to DePaul. Meanwhile, as you get another look at it here, and clearly Prosper bouncing it on the line. Gibson, the floater, no. Marquette, meanwhile, Stephen, have won 8 of their last 9, including back-to-back over ranked teams. And they've done it on both sides of the floor.
Good hands by Johnson. Rare miscue by Coley.
And it leads to an Ongenda dunk.
I think these Blue Demons were challenged at halftime by Tony Stubblefield. They've responded here. A lot of energy on the defensive end. Watch Kolek take over here. Shot clock scenario. It's too big and strong for Jalen Terry. Terry's in really good position, just not big enough to deter Tyler from getting where he wants to be.
At 12 assists in the first half. Johnson three won't go. Foul against Stevie Mitchell.
Now Stevie Mitchell had the right idea. As a guard, you're supposed to seal that backside. It looked like Penn got off his feet before Stevie Mitchell tried to go on the box out.
Caleb Murphy stops, starts, and blocked by the rim.
Boy, I know he desperately wants to count him back. Rarely see that when the guy's that open.
Ross. Now Murphy wants to push the pace. Murphy all the way, and he won't miss that time. Rolls it in.
He made up for that last one there. Boy, he showed some impressive speed getting up the floor. Looked a little bit like Jalen Terry.
Missed 18 games this year with a wrist injury on his shooting hand. In his fourth game back. Jones, no, and scooped up by Johnson. Paul has never led. Ongenda, well defended by Iguodala.
Yeah, Ongenda he almost shot that. He was behind the basket when he was on the release. So Iguodala kept him off balance in that possession.
Almost tapped it away. Joplin stripped by Penn, called for the foul. That is the third on Errol Penn.
Well, Murphy puts the Jets on, getting all the way to the rim, trying to cut into this deficit.
25 deflections, that's been part of the story for this Marquette team that has forced 12 DePaul turnovers. But, Steven, they've been clicking on both sides of the ball since we tipped this off tonight.
Yeah, and I think they established themselves, did the Golden Eagles on the defensive end early, and really led to some easy looks on the offensive end, points off turnovers. And so then, when you get a couple layups to go and you see your teammates are going with Cam Jones shooting a three, then everything comes a lot easier. Thus, this 18-point margin in favor of Marquette.
16 Marquette points off of DePaul turnovers. David Joplin at the line.
You know, it's interesting when you watch this Marquette team, and you see them in the airport. You know, they don't look big. They're not big. They're not, you know, they don't look intimidating at all. But boy, when you get on the floor with them, if you don't match their intensity, they can run you out of the gym pretty quickly.
With a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. An extension maybe of the head coach.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. Got kicked to Murphy earlier.
There is Murphy with the pull-up.
See why DePaul's pretty high on him. He can get to his spots whenever he wants to.
There's 2 more years of eligibility after this season, the transfer from South Florida. They expected him to be the starting point guard this year, but because of injury, it became Emoji Gibson's job, who is called for the foul. And that is Gibson's first.
Gibson simply trying to get on the ball, trying to get a deflection. Jones taking it out.
Gold. Defended by Angenda. 10 to shoot for Marquette.
Ooh, Gibson was looking for it.
Murphy the pull-up. Back to back.
Now, Caleb Murphy can go now. Marquette's going to have to pay a little bit more attention to him. He's got to his spots easily.
6 points for Murphy. Still no made threes in the half for Marquette. 0 for 3. After they went 11 for 21 in the first half. And Penn goes right back the other way and forces a timeout called by Shaka Smart.
Nice run by the Blue Demons. Playing with some energy here. Trying to cut into this deficit. Nice start here to the second half for the Blue Demons. Certainly they would wear a jersey here.
Jay Crowder in attendance. Of course, former Marquette Golden Eagle. Now, after the trade deadline in the NBA, playing for the Milwaukee Bucks. Pat Connaughton in attendance and rocking a Tyler Kolek uniform.
No, I think that's super cool, man. You know, something that young people would love to have an NBA player. You know, you playing on the same AAU program to rock your jersey. Come on, it doesn't get much better than that.
And Kolek is, he's had a pretty good game. 12 assists, 5 points. He had 11 assists in the first half.
This is one of the best floor generals in all of college basketball.
Cam Jones picking up where he left off in the first half. 21 with 7 made threes, a career high.
DePaul tried to go to some three-quarter court pressure, and Marquette cut that up. Oh, good help defense by Kolek.
Foul goes against Stevie Mitchell. That's his second. 17-point deficit here. Marquette 13.5 minutes away from picking up at least a share of their first Big East regular season title in 10 years. Prosper picks up his second foul.
That dribble weave right there. Shaka didn't like that. He didn't think there was a foul on that exchange. Now Marquette goes to a 3-2 zone.
Ewell Penn, put back. Grown man jam.
Boy, that was one of the second quickest jumps I've seen in college basketball this season. He shot that. Iguodaro, and watch Iguodaro. He's a quick jumper himself. Look at Penn on the second jump.
Angenda almost got it to go. Instead, 2 shots coming. And that is the 4th foul on both the team and also Iguodaro.
You see Nick Angenda going full speed, almost gets that one to go. Pretty impressive effort by the big fella.
Angenda, the leading returning scorer for DePaul from last season, was expected, obviously, to be a starter. Missed the first 25 games of the season with a wrist injury, but has made a significant impact in his now 4 games back from injury.
Well, he's got great size and athleticism, and we talked about his shot blocking ability. He can really make things happen like that.
Didn't like the call, but they will count the basket of goaltend against Angenda after missing 2 free throws.
an additional defender with Marquette in the mix.
Johnson, no, and the putback, yes, from Ongenda.
An impressive effort here. Start the second half.
Prosper. They will count the foul.
Well, Max Prosper's got such long strides that it almost looks like he's going to travel. But he did a good job of keeping his pivot foot down. That left foot stayed down. He fought through the contact. Max Prosper utilizing his athleticism and length.
And that is the fourth on Eral Penn. Prosper in the midst of a breakout season. Shaka Smart calls timeout. Wait, no. A technical foul has been assessed against Shaka Smart. And Shaka Smart's got to be careful here. He's on the floor, nearly at midcourt. Dan Jones going up to him saying, "It's all right, coach. Let's get back to the bench." Ryan O'Connell ushering him back to Marquette's bench. Umoja Gibson misses the free throw. So that's 3 straight misses at the line for DePaul. Initially, I thought he was calling a timeout to get some subs into the game. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but Matt Potter teed him up.
This was after the fact when the technical foul had already occurred. But, you know, Shaka Smart and Matt Potter may have been having some exchange earlier on before that technical was assessed.
Just a weird time to see a technical against a coach whose team is up as much as he is, and after an and-one opportunity for one of his own players. That is the 3rd foul on Stevie Mitchell and the 6th on the team.
We're playing becoming a little disjointed right now in favor of the Blue Demons. Let's see if they can take advantage of this. DePaul going back to their matchup zone. I'm trying to find Murphy. If he can get downhill, get to his space like that.
Off the mark. Chases his miss. Scooped up by Mitchell. And then a foul against Ongenda. Potter goes into the first row of photographers. And just a good effort by both players. The foul goes against Ongenda. That's his second. Marquette, 12 minutes away from a Big East regular season title. Marquette, DePaul trying to climb back into this game. 12 minutes left in front of a sold-out Fiserv Forum, 17,873. A program record for Marquette at Fiserv Forum in attendance this evening. The inaugural Tom Jernstedt Lifetime Achievement Award will honor college basketball icons Jim Delaney, Dave Gavitt, and C.M. Newton. Their legacies will be recognized at the 2023 NCAA Men's Final Four in Houston. Later on in March, of course, Dave Gavitt was the Big East founder and commissioner between 1979 and 1990.
3 giants in the world of college basketball. Jim Delaney came into the Big Ten Conference during our Illini season, so he had a magnificent run. And C.M. Newton, he just hired Rick Pitino of Kentucky and got them back to national recognition, so that was quite an accomplishment. But a coach at Alabama before then, great names in our sport.
Second half. Prosper now in double figures with 10 points.
Max Prosper may be the best cutting player in the Big East off the ball.
Murphy. Oh, Ben Gold. Objection. Ben Gold. Ongenda stays with it, blocked again by Gold. And it will stay with DePaul. But look at Shaka Smart on the bench. He is as fired up as I have seen him. Love that effort from Ben Gold.
Yeah, Ben Gold, he's like, listen, I may be giving up a few inches, but I'm not giving up any heart.
Gibson floats it in. What a tough shot by the Oklahoma transfer.
And they're asking for a foul, talking to Matt Potter, Tony Stubblefield, and Gibson.
Marquette, one more foul, and they'll send DePaul into the bonus the rest of the way. Ongenda to Johnson. Steps it through and checked it. That was Prosper in transition.
Well, great hustle defensively by Marquette. Not giving an inch on the defensive end here. Last couple of possessions.
Four blocks in the game for Marquette. To go along with 7 steals. They have been uber active defensively tonight. Double on Ongenda, and he throws it into the hands of Jones. Kolek, back to Gold.
That's a tough position for Ben Gold to be in.
Floater! And the alley-oop goes for Ongenda, and it's back to 15. DePaul has not had it closer in the second half than 15 points. And Gold will have the foul line. That was Ongenda. And that's his third.
Boy, Nick Ongenda visibly upset on that call. I guess he felt like he was straight up and down. Ben Gold getting some quality minutes with the foul trouble to Iguodaro.
Iguodaro with 4 fouls. He's been on the bench for the last handful of minutes. Meanwhile, Nick Ongenda, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Best game of the season for him in his 4th game back after missing the first 25 with an injury.
I tell you what, for him to be playing at this level after missing so many games, remarkable. That's really impressive.
Just dropped into the last month of the Big East season when everybody has seen each other multiple times.
Yeah.
They've been playing all year long.
Yep.
Here he is again against the smaller Jones, and he got it to go.
I mean, he just put his shoulder down and got Jones out of the way.
Prosper. Cam Jones. Gold, the offensive rebound. That's at least his 3rd in the game. Now a 3. Tap back Prosper. And he was fouled. And they will not count the basket. Man, Prosper has been flying around all night.
Oh, that length and athleticism from Omax. You've got to pay attention to him every single time the ball is up on the rim. He's going like his life depends on it.
If you remember back a couple of games ago, he had the game-winning tap back against Xavier, flying to the basket on a missed layup.
Yep, similar play there.
Shaka Smart told us he thinks the catalyst for Prosper's breakout season is just intentionality. With his film study, with his lifting, with his practice, and generally, Stephen, just his habits overall.
Well, I think when you're playing for a guy like Shaka Smart, you got to show consistent improvement. And Omax Prosper, all these guys, really, when you look at Cam Jones's numbers from last year to this year, he's doubled his scoring output. Omax Prosper's put a level of strength on his body that's evident of hard work.
And one of a number of guys that are having career years this year for Marquette. And that, I think, is what makes this team so special. Written off in the preseason, didn't bring anybody into the transfer portal. Lost their top two scorers, picked ninth, and here they are in the driver's seat, the top spot of the Big East, with 9.5 minutes to play against DePaul. Ball on the deck, tied up by Penn. Joplin was in there as well, and the arrow points to Marquette.
Tell you what, DePaul keeps trying to get over that 13, 15-point deficit. They haven't been able to do it, but their intensity has not waned. It's been very impressive here in the second half.
Kolek somehow got it around Gabriel.
Tyler Kolek's a lot stronger than he looks. And he gets downhill like that. He's so crafty. Able to always get a good quality look.
He's 1 assist shy of tying his career high. Picks up a foul. That is the 7th on the team, and DePaul shooting the rest of the way with 8:41 to play.
Not a bad decision by Cruz. Watch Tyler Kolek. Spin once again.
Well, the interesting thing about DePaul now, down the stretch, they shoot at nearly 80% from the line as a team. One of the tops in the Big East from the foul line. And Ongenda will get ready to check back in. He's playing with 3 fouls. Still no Oso Ighodaro for Marquette on the bench with 4. And DePaul trying to hang in there despite no Deshaun Nelson. We saw him in the first half. Now he's in street clothes, possibly re-aggravating that ankle that he suffered a sprain on against Butler earlier on in the week. And we haven't seen Yorane at all tonight for DePaul. He was a game-time decision with a hamstring injury. Rejected. That was Ongenda again, fresh off the bench.
Well, Ongenda creates or clears up a lot of mistakes.
The eraser.
Yes.
And a travel against Chase Ross.
So right now, if you're DePaul, got to get Gibson involved. He's really been quiet here in the second half. 4 of 9 from the field. He's got 15, but you want to ride Gibson down the stretch.
And this is the time to strike. Marquette 1 for its last 6 from the floor. Cruz rattles it in.
That was a set call. They got Cruz one-on-one against Kolek. He got him right to his spot on the elbow.
Lowest deficit of the second half for DePaul. 14-point lead for Marquette. Picked off by Gibson. Gibson through traffic, lays it in. What a spin off the window by the former Sooner.
But now you see Ighodaro coming off the bench. Shaka going to get his starters back in this game.
Mitchell and Prosper follow Ighodaro over to the scorer's table. There's Joplin, defended by the smaller Gibson. Left it short. Ball on the floor. And last touched by Joplin. All of a sudden, a 12-point game. Umoja Gibson starting to come alive in the second half.
Gibson, good job shooting the gap on the steal and splitting the defense with a crafty finish.
Hanging on to a 12-point lead. DePaul on a 6-0 run. Marquette scoreless in their last 2 minutes. Let's go inside the huddle with the Golden Eagle head coach, Shaka Smart.
They're just trying to put their head down and drive us. Okay? So we got to have a die head if it's a shooter. But they put their head down. We got to move our feet. You know, we do the vitamin every day. Okay? Now it's the game.
Well, he's reminding his team that they had a sizable lead, but they've broken down on some very basic things that they're accustomed to doing, and now they're in a ball game. They're in a dogfight. So So it'll be incumbent upon the Golden Eagles to wrestle back control and momentum of this game, because DePaul, if they get this under double-digit deficit, that starts to put a little bit more pressure on Marquette.
Marquette led by as many as 21. Oso Iguodaro back in the game with 4 fouls. He's sat for at least the last 4 or 5 minutes. And Shaka Smart reminding his team about transition defense. We heard him say the same thing in the huddle in the first half. Emoja Gibson putting his head down, willing this DePaul team back into the ball game.
I like this call. They were trying to pick up the 5th on Iguodaro. That's a set play by DePaul.
Now who's that whistle against for Marquette?
I think it's Collin.
It does go against Tyler Kolek.
And nice follow by Ongenda. And you see Tyler there break down, coming up with the foul.
So Kolek with 3, Mitchell with 3, Iguodaro with 4. Marquette in some foul trouble here late. But the free throw line has not been kind to DePaul. They're now 10 of 18, less than 60%. This is a team that's shooting at 79 from the stripe as a team this season.
I think sometimes when you're going up against a Marquette team like this, and you have to play so hard, some of your energy, when you miss free throws a lot, that's an indication of how hard you're playing.
Ongenda's played 29 minutes, and remember, he missed the first 25 games of the season, coming off the most minutes played ever in a DePaul uniform for him. He played 34 against Butler on Wednesday night. Mitchell's floater is good, and that stops a 2-minute scoring drought for Marquette.
That's a beautiful decision, let alone floater, but the decision by Mitchell is so good there. Back into that matchup zone goes Marquette.
Gibson tripped and turned it over.
He doesn't trip himself. I mean, there's somebody there that got Gibson off his stride. It looked like he got caught up with Mitchell there as he went past him. That's a tough break for DePaul.
14th turnover of the game. Just the second of the half. Iguodaro, no. And into the hands of Cruz. Johnson in transition. Yes, sir. And here come the Blue Demons. Down 10.
This is where Kolek needs to be a little bit more aggressive.
Mitchell backing down Gibson, blocked by Ongenda. And then a foul against Gibson. Cruz thought he was going to have a steal there. Tied him up momentarily. Mitchell stayed with it, and he's going to the foul line.
I think Mitchell's been really aggressive the last couple possessions, getting inside the lane against a smaller Gibson. Nice recognition.
Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. And the rebound on Ongenda. And now Ongenda, a double-double. 11 rebounds, 14 points. Gabriel. In and out. Boy, that looked like it was going to go down, but credit Zion Cruz for winning it back. And now DePaul has a chance with 20 on the timer to cut this to single digits.
Yeah, we haven't seen this since the beginning of the game if they're able to score here. Again, there's plenty of time left if you can get this to single-digit deficit.
Ongenda through Ben Gold. And the coaching staff for DePaul wanted a foul there, an and-one opportunity, and wouldn't get it. 16 for Ongenda and an 8-point game.
This has been one of the wildest Saturdays in college basketball this season. This game is really shaping up to be quite a battle.
Prosper. Kolek with the ball. Kolek rejected. That time Johnson. Gibson almost coughed it up. Gets it to Gabriel. Shuffled to Cruz.
Boy, this has been a hurried possession.
And then an offensive foul against Ongenda. And Tony Stubblefield can't believe it. He thought there was lots of contact by Stevie Mitchell that didn't get called.
I think Stevie Mitchell sold that. I thought Ongenda was still when he set the pick. That's a tough break for DePaul.
And that's the fourth foul on Ongenda. And they will roll the dice with Ongenda. 4:23 to play. I guess you got to leave him in, don't you?
Yeah, you got to roll it down the stretch.
Caleb Murphy back in for DePaul as Cruz goes to the bench and Murphy tagged with a foul. That's his second. And the 10th on the team, so 2 free throws the rest of the way for Marquette. And it'll be Tyler Kolek to go to the foul line. He's an 80% free throw shooter.
Well, conference play in late February, anything can happen.
We saw it earlier today. Florida State, Miami, 25-point deficit. We've had a 21-point deficit in this game. DePaul has climbed back into it, tooth and nail. Just a shade over 4 minutes to play and a 10-point lead for the Golden Eagles.
Nice switch out by Gold to deter Gibson from the 3.
Johnson with a hand in his face.
Boy, Johnson has made some moon shots of his own, bringing some rain from long range.
Second triple. Kolek slips it in past Ongenda. And a timeout taken by Shaka Smart. A double-double for Tyler Kolek.
See Mitchell getting downhill on the nice floater. And then Johnson, it's raining in five-serve form.
DePaul has cut it to single digits. They trail by as many as 21 points in this game. Less than 4 minutes to play. And how about the effort by Nick Ongenda, partner? 16 points, 11 rebounds in his 4th game back from injury.
Well, he's been active. He's been present at the rim. Made it very difficult for Marquette to get clean looks. And then running the floor. His teammates setting him up beautifully. If only he could have been healthy all season, might have looked different for these DePaul Blue Demons.
Second half has looked a lot different for the Blue Demons. 10% better shooting the basketball, but defensively, they have challenged Marquette a lot more than we saw them in the first half.
Well, it's been the effort and energy. They didn't start the game with this type of energy, but they came out in the second half and just wanted to establish that part of the game, and everything else is falling into place.
Marquette made 11 threes in the first half. They're 1 for 5 in the second.
Yeah, DePaul doing a good job of closing the space, not allowing open looks. They had some defensive breakdown and communication in the first half. That hasn't been the case here.
Over 17,800 on hand here at Fiserv Forum. 78-69 Marquette. Gives them a share of the Big East regular season title.
Paul was a little confused at time. Marquette started zone, went to man.
Gibson a 3.
Oh boy, now we got some game pressure. Let's see how Marquette responds.
Kolek.
Cam Jones wants this matchup. Nice switch.
Jones with only 3 points in the second half. Kolek the putback.
See, Ongenda goes to challenge Cam Jones. He's not in rebounding position, and Marquette able to get the easy putback.
Ewald Penn and Nick Ongenda playing with 4 fouls. Intercepted by Mitchell, and then picked back up by Gibson.
Watch Gibson may pull early here.
Gibson, backdoor. Johnson finishes.
Oh, that's a beautiful two-man game right there. Johnson getting behind the defense, sweep bounce pass.
Defended by Johnson and draws a foul. Just so crafty with the basketball around the hoop. And he's headed back to the foul line for 2 shots.
Johnson didn't like the call, but you got to have verticality when you throw your hands up like that. If you're not vertical, that's an easy call for the officials.
Marquette 8 of 11 from the stripe tonight. Kolek 2 of 2. Has his second double-double of his career tonight. Kolek 13 points, 14 assists, 1 assist shy of tying a career-high 15. And he's moved into 3rd place all-time in single-season assists.
They're one of the best floor generals in all of college basketball. You see when Marquette needs a bucket, who has the rock in his hand.
Gibson turning the corner, gives it up to Murphy. Less than 2 minutes to play. Both teams in the bonus. 3 timeouts for DePaul, 1 for Marquette. And a 2-possession game in Milwaukee. And another foul on Johnson, and he can't believe it. It sends Kolek back to the foul line.
Well, Johnson's got to be on the move. Got to anticipate when you make that switch defensively. You got to be moving. You can't try to stand Kolek up. You see, he tries to stand him up. That's an automatic foul.
Looked like he kind of got crossed up there, deciding whether or not to try and take a charge, putting his hands down or slide with Kolek. And Kolek's been automatic tonight from the free throw line. He's 5 of 5.
And Kolek's so strong and shifty. It's difficult to keep in front.
He scored the last 10 points for Marquette. 90 seconds to play. And a timeout taken by Tony Stubblefield. He'll have 2 left. And his team down 8 with 1:29 to play. They trail by as many as 21 in the ball game. What are you running here out of the timeout if you're Tony Stubblefield?
I think you want to get Gibson a look, but Marquette's done a really good job of keeping someone in his face the last few possessions. I'd like to try to get him opposite of the basketball. Maybe get Penn or Ongenda at the free throw line and maybe look opposite.
Penn and Ongenda both playing with 4 fouls. Ongenda with 16 points, 11 rebounds. You've already talked about it. It's been a crazy day in college basketball. We saw a huge upset. Villanova handing it to Creighton today in Philadelphia. Florida State making a 25-point comeback, and then Arizona State beating Arizona on a 3/4 court buzzer beater out west.
I'm going to tell you something. Arizona State is a team that people are not going to want to see in the NCAA tournament. They've got 5 or 6 guys that can go get their own shots. That Sun Devils team is going to be interesting. See what they do.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what DePaul does out of the timeout and how Marquette defends this possession. Umoja Gibson with 20 points on 4 of 5 from downtown and 8 assists. He's been terrific in the second half. Can DePaul get a bucket here? Poked away, and it was Tyler Kolek stealing it for Marquette.
And that was Stevie Mitchell on the deflection. DePaul just too loose with the basketball in critical junctures.
When do you start fouling if you're DePaul?
Well, they can't foul now. It's too low in the shot clock.
Shuffle. Joplin. Prosper, the offensive rebound. Rejected by Agenda and scooped up by Johnson. And it leads to a transition dunk for Penn. Prosper should have pulled that basketball out and bled the clock away a little bit. Instead, DePaul takes advantage. And it's back to a 6-point game.
Well, Penn being rewarded for running the floor. Nice job by DePaul getting the block into an easy dunk on the other end and not allowing a lot of time to elapse. So down 2 possessions here. If you're Tony Stubblefield, I think you full court press. You allow your team to get
that was the offensive rebound by Prosper that he could have pulled out.
He could have.
With 20 seconds on the shot clock.
He could have.
And Tyler Kolek was asking him to pull it out, but Prosper, I'm not sure, was aware. And it's led to this.
I think when those guys get the ball in that situation, they're trying to score so badly, Matt, that he might have lost track of time and possession. But I agree with you. If he kicks that back out, Marquette, now DePaul would have to foul them. So right here, defensively, you want to give DePaul enough, like 2 to 3 passes to see if they can come up with a steal. If they don't get a steal in the first 5 or 6 seconds, then you foul.
Marquette in the double bonus. 2 free throws coming with any foul the rest of the way. 54.5 on the clock, a 6-point game. Both teams with a single timeout. And Iguodaro playing with 4 fouls. The inbounder for Marquette. He gets it to Kolek. Not a whole lot of resistance here. It almost seems like they're going to play this defensive possession out.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at that. I thought they would try to foul or at least double team the basketball, but they're playing it out.
Cruz switches on to Kolek. 10 seconds, and he's tagged with the foul. That is the worst case scenario if you're DePaul. You let 20 seconds melt away, and now you send Kolek to the free throw line, who's 6 of 6 tonight.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. I mean, there's been a lot of contact in this game. And I know Cruz is talking to Matt Potter right now, asking what happened, but that's a tough break for DePaul.
First miss of the night for Kolek, an 80% foul shooter on the season. So now, do you need threes if you're DePaul?
Oh, there's no doubt. You know, now you've left yourself really no other option unless you just get a breakaway layup or a breakdown by Marquette.
Some token pressure from Kolek. Ball into Murphy. Lots of time coming off the clock. Penn hammered by Joplin. And we'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Tell you what, that was a pretty interesting play that DePaul ran. And they were looking to get a 2-point shot there, knowing that Marquette's going to defend the 3. So Penn, nice up fake to draw the contact.
Penn playing with 4 fouls. It has been for much of the end of this game. Same with Nick Ongenda. And now Cam Jones will come in for Marquette. So it's Kolek, Joplin, Iguodaro, Cam Jones, and Omax Prosper for Marquette on the floor.
If Penn hits this free throw, you got to try to foul Iguodaro if you're DePaul.
Quick substitution here. Gabruit comes in for Penn. They don't want him to pick up his 5th foul. Iguodaro is the inbounder. And he gets it into Cam Jones. Double team comes, but not in time. And a foul against Caleb Murphy will send Cam Jones to the free throw line.
Marquette's been pretty impressive in getting the ball in bounds. They give themselves enough space to run towards the basketball instead of being pinned along the baseline. Nice job of Cam Jones breaking free. Cam
Jones will attempt his first free throw attempt tonight. 23 seconds left on the game clock. Points for Jones on his 21st birthday. 30 friends and family in attendance, making the trip from Tennessee. This is the second. 22 seconds for DePaul. 1 timeout. Down 6. Murphy goes right to the basket and draws a foul on Joplin, who comes up a little bit shaken up. It's interesting here to see DePaul not look for the three-point shot.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that. I think Murphy, he's at the free throw line, but you got to cut into this deficit. You can't do it with twos with this amount of time left. A little surprised by that decision.
Murphy just 14 of 18 now from the line this season. Missed 18 games with an injury. He's looked pretty darn good tonight, though, Stephen. Murphy, 9 points on 4 of 6.
He's certainly a Big East athlete from the wing, I'll tell you that. He can get to wherever he wants to on the floor. Got a little hitch in that giddy up on that free throw line.
A foul will go against also Iguodaro.
No, I think it's a lane violation.
Okay, it is a lane violation. It looked like Matt Potter, right in front of our broadcast table, called a foul on Iguodaro, but Ryan O'Connell, who's in the lane, said it was a lane violation.
I think what messed up also was that little hitch in Murphy's release.
But there it is right there. He stepped in before the release from Murphy, so second chance. And he pays it off. Do you foul right away?
Yes.
Trying to get it into Kolek. They do. And a foul on Gabriel. Maybe a second and a half came off there, and Kolek to the foul line.
So I think, Tony Stubblefield has elected to just extend the game. Because sometimes when you go to shooting threes too early and you miss, then you don't give yourselves a chance. But now they can get Kolek to miss. They might give themselves a chance here.
He's only missed 1 tonight. Kolek now 7 of 8. DePaul has 1 timeout left. Both teams in the double bonus. 13.7 to play. And if Kolek makes it, it's back to a 6-point game. And pressure here from Marquette. Murphy. Blow by. And the putback from Cruz rattles down, but 6 seconds came off the game clock. And then a quick foul of Kolek. Really interesting.
I'm a little baffled at this.
Murphy put his head down multiple times over these last 30 seconds and went straight to the basket.
I'm a little, if they want to continue to extend the game, I get it, but at some point you got to look from the 3 to cut to the deficit to give yourselves a chance.
Right, because they've just been trading 2 for the last, it seems like an eternity now. Shaka Smart was teed up by Matt Potter earlier in the game. Those two having an exchange on the sideline right now. Back to 6. 6 seconds left. DePaul really out of time here. Gibson will take it straight to the basket. And it will roll out. And Marquette hangs on for a share of their first Big East title in a decade.
Well, it did not come easy. They start off the game in impressive fashion. And DePaul made it interesting, but nice job by the Golden Eagles closing the deal.
So Marquette picks up its 15th Big East win, the most in program history, and Shaka Smart, a Big East regular season champion with still 2 games to go, and possibly earn the team's first ever outright Big East regular season title. Our final score, Marquette 90, DePaul 84. It was a battle of five-serve forum, a sold-out crowd. Marquette gets it done. For Stephen Bardo, I'm Matt Schumacher. Let's send it to Colorado State, Wyoming for some women's hoops.